pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Our roll call, Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Hewart,
Here.
Chairman Glass,
Here.
Commissioner Say,
Here.
Commissioner Romero,
Present.
and Commissioner Putnam.
Here.
Everybody present.
This is a time for any member of the public who'd like to address the planning commission on any matter not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow the commission or staff to discuss or take actions on issues brought forth by the public. Comment, concerns may be referred to the staff and placed on the next available agenda. Please note that the comments from this public will also be taken each agenda. Does anybody from the public want to discuss anything that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay.
Oh, Chair, I have one item that was submitted for public comment via email.
Okay.
The copies of it have been placed before each of the dais, but I'm going to go ahead and read it into the record as
Okay.
well. Dear Commissioners, my name is Nadia Ibarra, and I am Public Affairs Specialist with South Coast AQMD. As your air quality liaison, I would like to share the following information regarding compliance training offered by South Coast AQMD to city staff and the general public. Should you have any questions, feel free to contact me. South Coast AQMD offers a variety of compliance assistance training courses that provide participants with the opportunity to interact with South Coast AQMD compliance staff, learn more about existing and upcoming air quality regulations applicable to their industry, and resources to assist industry in achieving their clean air goals. Each course is taught by experienced inspectors and other specialists with extensive knowledge of the equipment, processes, and regulatory requirements associated with each topic. Courses currently being offered but not limited to by South Coast AQMD include Asbestos Demolition and Renovation, Rule 1403, and Controlling Fugitive Dust, Rule 403 and 403.1. Thank you for your time. Nadia Ibarra. And if anyone in the public is interested in those courses, we do have links that we could share as well.
Thank you.
Okay. So they're both the same, gotcha. Okay. Anyone go for the meeting minutes? Entertain a motion to approve or deny. Did everyone get them and read them?
Yeah, so we're throwing two of these together, and Commissioner Romero was absent on the 20th, so why don't we split them up so that we can vote on them separately. One note to mention, the agenda, this meeting's agenda makes reference to April 19th and March 20th minutes. It's actually the 17th and the 20th. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the April 17th minute as presented.
I'll second.
Now, I'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Hewart,
Yes.
Chairman Glass,
Yes.
Commissioner Say,
Yes.
Commissioner Romero,
Sustain.
and Commissioner Putnam.
Yes.
6 and 1.
Okay, that was both?
No, that was
One.
just the
That was the
17th.
17th.
So I think you can vote on the 17th one, you just can't vote on the 20th one.
Okay.
I think if you were to watch the meeting, you could vote, right?
I do watch the meetings.
So if you watched
Just
it,
wasn't here.
Okay,
We need
all right.
some more.
All right, so I'll then make a motion for the March 20th, 2024 minutes as presented as well.
Second?
Call for vote?
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Hewart,
Yes?
Chairman Glass,
Yes?
Commissioner Say,
yes.
Commissioner Romero,
Yes.
and Commissioner Putnam.
Yes.
All ayes.
Okay, looks like our first item is a public hearing You want to go ahead and read?
Thank you, Chair. The item before you this evening is a proposal to allow a self-storage facility in the light industrial general plan land use area at 100 Old Reservoir Road. The project site is within a larger parcel owned by the Santa Catalina Island Company that is developed with a number of different types of commercial and industrial uses up in the Falls Canyon area adjacent to the Avalon Public Works Garage. The existing site on the west side is currently developed with 8 repurposed shipping containers that are used for self-storage units. And the east side of the project is currently vacant but was previously used for outdoor storage. The applicant straight up storage is, like I mentioned, located adjacent to the directly adjacent to the Public Works Garage near the entrance to the city facility. In 2020, the existing shipping containers were placed on the west side of the site. At that time, Planning and Building did not process an entitlement application, but did issue an electrical permit for the connection for the lighting for the facility. Given that the facility is now being proposed to be expanded with the addition of new shipping containers, staff determined it was appropriate to process a site plan and a coastal development permit to permit the entire facility, including existing and proposed shipping containers. So to summarize, including that existing and proposed development, the applicant, which is Straight Up Builders, will be proposing a total of 3,840 square feet of self-storage space, which will include, from the previous development, 6 8-foot by 20-foot containers, 2 8 by 40-foot containers, and will now add 2 more 8 by 20 containers and 6 more 8 by 40 containers. The containers are stacked too high and would have walkways installed to access the upper level of containers, consistent with the way that the existing development is currently formatted. They'll also be installing a new electrical connection to this part from the adjacent utility pole, and are already in discussion with SCE to get approval for that connection. They will install new foundation and retaining support walls for the shipping containers in order for foundation for the containers, and also to protect the adjacent drainage channel, which runs off the mountain and actually comes directly into town. And they are going to be paving the area in between the shipping containers to allow vehicles to pull in for loading and unloading, to avoid parking on the street at the entrance to the Public Works Garage, which for fire department is a no parking zone. Just to give you a little bit of background, staff identified 2 issue items for the project. One I wanted to give you a little background on was the fact that we talked about this being the light industrial general plan land use area for the project. The zoning designation for this property is actually not currently known. The readily available zoning maps that we have kind of cut off right in this area. So staff would have to guess what the zoning would be, which rather than do that, we would rather default to the general plan designation for the site, which lists the appropriate and anticipated uses for this area, which is light industrial. So warehousing, repair, auto or mechanical repair, things of that nature are anticipated to be in this area, have been in this area for a long time. So staff made the interpretation that since warehousing is allowed, self-storage is consistent with that type of use. The second issue item was the adjacency of the development to the hillside drainage. So that is a major hillside drainage that drains to the southwest, down into Avalon Canyon Road and out to the harbor. One of staff's concerns with the placement of the new container was making sure that they would not undermine the structure of the channel or in any way degrade that, so that it would become a safety issue downstream. Public Works has reviewed the project plans and determined that the project works in concept, and the applicant is actively working with Public Works to make sure that the final design of the foundation footings and the support for the wall will meet requirements for construction for building and for Public Works. That said, staff is recommending approval of the project as proposed based on findings in the staff report and the conditions of approval in the draft resolution. Conditions which include final approval of that engineering with Public Works prior to issuance of any permits. Bob Greenlaw from Public Works is here if you have any questions regarding the city's review of the application, and the applicant, Ed Arnold from Straight Up Builders, is also here to answer any questions you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions of staff before we open the public hearing? Okay, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak for or against, please come up, state your name and address. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this, you're good? Okay. We'll close the public hearing. Anyone else want to speak? We'll close the public hearing. Have you guys been up there? Yep. I think whatever they do to that channel will only make it better because the rest of it looks like garbage. So this looks like it's gonna be, at least that section will be the strongest section there.
I did go and take a look at it, and I hadn't been up there in years, and to me, it's already better before it's even done than it was years ago. It was like just a dump storage area. The safety with all that junk up there was, to me, seemed like a fire hazard, and it looks like he's cleaned up that area quite a bit, and I think it's a plus.
I think what's already been put up looks sharp to class.
Yeah,
A.
that's great.
Yeah, and like you say, it does go along with everything else that's up there.
So I just have a question just for future applications. So the first storage area that he did was done administratively.
So obviously the staff that was here at that time is not here now. My understanding is that staff at the time had chosen not to process a planning application when the initial containers were put in place and only the electrical permit was done. I would say it's my professional opinion and interpretation that an application probably should have been done at that time, because technically this is at the time was a new development of the site and intensification of use, which is why I have structured the staff report and the recommendation of approval to capture the entirety of the self-storage development, because rather than let that continue to kind of hang out in a legal limbo, I wanted to make sure that the entire thing was kind of brought into compliance and will now be a permitted and approved business if the Planning Commission were to choose to approve.
So it'll be under this approval?
Correct.
For
So
the
the
other-
entire, what's
Okay.
there now and what is proposed to add will all be part of the approval. And building staff and public works staff seemed comfortable with that as well.
So when I did go up there, there was some, I think, lines that you put up regarding the property line and where it goes, and how do you determine that?
That was done by a licensed surveyor.
Okay.
And we're doing, right now, we're working on a record of survey for all of the property up there and all of Country Club and Cemetery Road. So those were all established by a licensed surveyor. All those
So
stakes.
this is Island Company property, all of it, correct?
The property that the proposed project is on is owned by the Island Company, and the applicant has a lease to utilize the property for self-storage.
Is the adjacent lot city?
To the,
Left.
Yes, that's our city maintenance yard.
Is that Island Company or city property?
So the strip that's right along the creek is Island Company that we lease.
Okay.
And we're working on that to be possibly a part of the maintenance yard in the future,
Uh-huh.
currently, so that we can redo our maintenance yard. At least that's the plan, that's what we have a budget for, and we'd like to see if we can build a new building back there to replace the building that we have.
Okay, so I was just asking because of determining with the survey you did.
Yes.
I was a little confused too. So trying to figure out where the property starts and ends, the line. So I was just, so it's not city. So is that you're determining that, and that's their lease from this side over, and then city lease from this side. Oh, you know, if you're looking at the property.
So directionally toward the school.
Correct,
we could
if
say
I'm looking
toward
at the school.
We lease that strip of land that's adjacent, along that property line that you would see that's set right there. In between where the storage is gonna be, and, then that strip between the property line that's at the school where the light posts are, all the way to the creek, all the way to the school. There's about a 25-foot strip there that we lease from the Island Company.
Okay.
That
so
we
I-
park our vehicles on right now.
Okay, so you're just determining where your lease starts and his start, right? You're getting a pathway of where the city lease is, and I'm just trying to determine, so is that already, was like in contract with the Island Company as far as where they have it, where the property line was when you originally? I'm just trying to figure out, because I noticed it went in a little bit where they
So the
wanted-
fences that were installed there, I think were probably installed as somebody started putting storage on
Oh,
there.
okay.
And there was, actually, the front fence was encroaching into the city property toward the fuel tanks that we have there by about 7 feet. There's a
Okay.
big bulb out there, so that's why, when the fence came down, you can't see it now, but I had brought that to their attention, you know, in the past when we started talking about the other piece of property that we lease from them right now. Yeah, so,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I assume anything the city's gonna do over there, they do the same thing with the wash going down, reinforce it or whatever they needed.
So if you see where the remediation work happened in the back of the city yard, in just recently, and we have a new concrete cap to remediate whatever was remaining of the old gas plant. So it's been capped underneath there. We put up a retaining wall in between the school and the city's property, so a concrete block wall, put a fence on top of that. And then we continued that up the channel for a short distance. We intend to continue that all the way up to the front property line, allow enough space so a piece of equipment could get next to the channel, and also you could walk and maintain that channel and straighten up all that mess that's back there. That'll be part of the city maintenance yard redo. So that'll all be cleaned up, and it'll allow for the floodplain to have a 200-year floodplain through there, and be able to maintain the bushes and also,
Clean out the
the
channel
creek.
or whatever
The
you
creek,
need.
and you'll see it be what it should be. And the school district's doing the same when they're repiping with their project. So that should be, all of that should be cleaned up. Now it's just working back in some of the up channel there,
Right.
okay? So, some good news there.
Yes. Thank you, Bob.
Any other discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve with staff recommendation.
Second?
For discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Chairman Glass?
Yes.
Commissioner Say?
Yes.
Commissioner Romero?
Yes.
And Commissioner Putnam?
Yes.
All ayes.
Okay, any other commissioner business? This is record time for us.
Yeah, staff has no more announcements for you this evening.
Okay. Say good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
Adjourned.